This week, we're back to freebies. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to week 11 of the TRX-4 Sport Budget Build Off. In this series, we're taking the TRX-4 Sport unassembled kit version and upgrading it with $50 every week. In this series, Matt from the Scale Builders Guild and myself each post a video every Wednesday for 16 weeks covering this thing. And this week is one of those weeks where we're not actually upgrading the truck with 50 bucks as normal. This week, it's DIY again. We've done one of these videos in the past, and we're gonna do another one this week. So Matt and I are both gonna try and do our best to upgrade this truck without spending any or much money. This week, I'm going to spend a little bit of time tuning the suspension on this vehicle, specifically rebuilding the shocks and changing out the fluid in them to something a little bit different. Now, whatever shock oil I choose for this isn't necessarily the same that you should choose, but we're gonna go through and discuss why I'm choosing the weight that I am, and if you hear something that is or isn't like what you would want, then you can adjust from there, either higher or lower. And we're also going to take the opportunity this week to do some adjustments to the sliders, raise those things up, give us a little bit more clearance on the sides, and then we're gonna try and do just a couple of other little convenience modifications while we're at it. Before jumping into the shock changes, I wanna go ahead and do the modifications to the sliders and that simple little convenience modification that I do, and then we'll get into tuning the actual suspension on this vehicle. So let's pull the body off and take a look at the sliders. So the sliders on this truck bolt to the slider bases here, but then they drop down significantly, maybe as far as a half of an inch. So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to space these up at the slider base to raise this outer edge up. Now that outer edge isn't as low as the bottom of the skid plate or anything, but we still just want to have as much clearance as possible in as many places as possible. So that's why we're going to raise these up. After we do that, it's clearly going to interfere with the sides of the body. So we're going to have to trim the body up as well, just to make sure that everything clears. So the slider base has this boss here, and the slider itself has an indent to kind of accept that. So I'm going to actually use an aluminum spacer with a very similar diameter and use that to space things up. In a pinch, you can also just use a regular metal ball from a set of rod ends for this. Just a simple and easy part that you probably have laying around, and maybe you don't have an assortment of aluminum spacers around. Holding this thing up to the chassis, it looks like I could easily raise this thing as much as a half of an inch. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go all that way up, but I'm gonna look at my spacers, kind of find where I've got a nice easy middle ground. I keep a bin of just assorted spacers. This is just super handy to have around. I've collected them over the years, and there's just always an opportunity where you need an aluminum spacer. So I've got a bunch of these 9mm spacers here, which are a decent amount of lift, and then I actually have some additional ones that look to be 8mm. So if I really wanted, I could stack those, giving me 17mm of lift, which is actually, I think, more than what I'm gonna need. But I'm gonna quickly check to see how that looks. That actually lifts it up just past where I would wanna go, so I don't want to use two spacers. I think what I'm going to do is I'm only going to use the 9mm spacers, and we're just going to leave the 8mm spacers for another time. So I'm going to use these 4 spacers per side, and then use a slightly longer screw to attach them to the chassis. So 9mm of lift gives me just about 3mm between the bottom of the actual base of the rock slider and the outer portion that holds the body. So now we also know that we need to trim 9mm off the side of the body, since I knew exactly how long these spacers were. But I'm gonna get the other side done, and then we're gonna move over to trimming the body. So we've got the body here. I'm going to take and just estimate. So 9mm is just below this body line that kind of runs around here solid. So we're actually going to be just a millimeter or so below it, and that doesn't give us this nice flat spot to tuck into like we had before, but I think the body will still fall in this more contoured area still. But at least we have a nice straight guideline to go by with our body scissors. So with the body trimmed, let's do another test fit. And it fell right in. That's actually a pretty nice difference, and even visually, I think it makes the side of this body look a little bit more appropriately proportioned. So now, before we move on to the next modification, we're gonna talk a little bit more about the body and just another quick little thing that I wanna handle. The body clips on this truck are standard Traxxas big body clips. They're easy to install, they're easy to uninstall. Pretty straightforward body clip type situation. But what else is standard for me with body clips is losing them. That's partially why I buy body clips by the pound. You know, I've got bags of just body clips because I always lose them and I always need more. Hopefully I don't need to buy body clips anytime again in the future. The only downside to these is they're not black. So I would like to keep the black Traxxas body clips as long as possible. And that's why we're going to take and we're going to be installing a rare earth magnet solution for keeping our body clips exactly where we put them. This solution will allow us to take the body clips that we have, drop them onto the bed, and that rare earth magnet holds them perfectly in place while we remove the body and work on whatever we plan to underneath. So the method I use to not lose my body clips as often as I do is that I am going to take a couple of these rare earth magnets that I have here, and I'm going to take a couple off of this stack, and I'm going to shoe glue them onto the bottom side of our bed. So I'm going to take my tube of E6000. I'm going to put a healthy dab here behind the body posts in the bed area. I'm going to kind of spread it out to give myself a little surface area. Then I'm going to take my rare earth magnets, I'm going to pull off one at a time and start sticking together in the glue is not a problem as long as they're still laying flat. I'm going to use 3 in this case. You should let that glue dry, but even if you don't, now with those magnets in place, you can take your body clips, drop them on the bed, and they're not going to go anywhere. Here's some of those spare clear body clips just for a little bit better visual. So as you can see, now they're not falling off. So whenever you take your body off on the trail, still where you left them. The first thing we need to do, of course, is remove the shocks from the vehicle. So here we have the 2 front shocks. These have the white springs on them, which is one of the lighter springs that Traxxas carries. And I'm fine with keeping a pretty light spring on these. But what I do want to do is I want to actually switch to a heavier weight oil. Now, some people may want to go to a lighter weight oil, but for me, I think these shocks move a little too quickly and don't allow me to hold my wheels where I want them when I'm trying to either travel over a gap or try and keep the truck compressed slightly while I'm trying to climb up something. I feel like they're rebounding too quickly, so that is why I want to go to a heavier weight. I'm running these shocks with almost no preload, just enough to keep tension on both the lower shock cup and the upper spring collar. That's about all that I'm using. I'm trying to keep this truck low, and that is why I'm not running a lot of preload. At ride height, this front shock sits fairly compressed with this setup. And what I want to do is with that heavier weight shock oil, I want this thing to stay compressed and just slowly expand or rebound as I either come up to an obstacle or try and travel over a small lip or gap or things like that. So that's what I mean by trying to slow down the rebound. Now, likewise, with going to a heavier fluid, I'm also going to slow down the compression of this. And again, since I'm running this truck fairly compressed at ride height, a slow compression is fine with me. Going to that heavier fluid will slow down how quickly I bottom this shock out. I have the TLR assorted shock fluid set, which basically has from 50 weight to 100 weight in 10 weight increments. For this one, I'm going to start with a 60 in the front, and I'm going to go all the way to an 80 weight in the rear shocks. Now, this setup will feel like your truck wants to flex less, but going after a lot of flex is not what I'm after. Flex is fun to look at, but not something that I'm after when I'm going for ultimate performance. Especially when you're looking at a truck with a higher center of gravity, you want to try and keep everything as controlled and level as possible. The fluid in these shocks now still looks good, still looks clean, so it doesn't appear that these things have been contaminated, and I don't have any leaking around the bottom of the shock either. So I'm going to empty the existing shock fluid out into a paper towel. And then I'm going to refill with this 60 weight. So it looks like we got most all of the air bubbles out. I don't see any coming to the top as we cycle the suspension. For these shocks, since there is no bladder, I'm gonna put the cap on with it almost completely compressed. So now I've got the shocks rebuilt. They feel good. I don't feel like I've got major air pockets in them. And I can feel the difference between the new ones with the 80 weight and the stock ones. I don't recall exactly what I had in there out of the box, but the new oil definitely feels noticeably heavier. So we're gonna repeat that with the other one, and then we're going to do the 80 weight for the rear. So now we've changed out the fluid, both front and rear in these shocks. The front feels way better. It's really going to improve how I feel this thing's going to drive. It's gonna keep that front end planted more as I try and tackle some of that terrain. The rear, I like the feel of the shock oil, but I think the springs are still a little bit too stiff. The rear shocks have a red spring in them from the factory, and with me removing that center mounted battery and the battery tray completely, I think that I'm oversprung in the rear. So what I may look at doing is picking up either the orange springs, which are close to the whites that we have in the front, but it's a little bit heavier, or I may just put another set of white springs in the rear. I do like the rear to be a little bit more planted than the front. I like the front to be able to move around a little bit, but the rear I like to just kind of hold me in place so that I can have a predictable feeling to the front tires as I kind of hunt around for traction, specifically on big climbs. If you run too loose of a spring back there, while you've got your front end up and you're kind of trying to work it back and forth to find exactly where that traction is going to grab for you, the truck will want to move around too much and you can eventually just come off of your line completely. So that's why I like to have that heavier weight. But this one I feel is pushing it a little bit too far. Again, the rear springs I have no preload on at all right now. Now I've got other white springs here. I don't have any of the orange springs, so I could swap another set of the white on, but I've got those on my bone stock TRX-4 Sport right now, and I'd rather just leave that thing completely stock. So I'll order some more spring options and play around with those for those rear shocks in the following weeks. I've been driving this truck around a little bit more in some of like the spare time that I have, just kind of screwing around, just trying to get a feel for it more and more, trying to figure out what to do next to try and make it do what I want. At this point, I think what I'm going to do is just kind of deal with the center of gravity being a little bit higher on it, and I'm just going to kind of call this thing a really good trail truck. I think we're going to make modifications that are going to make this thing perform well without being overly heavy and still super capable, but in the end I just don't think it's ever going to be that comp truck I was after. So I think I'm just going to steer this thing to become a really just badass little trail rig, one of those ones that you can grab, take to the trail, and know that it's not going to leave you hanging at any point. It's going to make it to the end, super durable, good run times, simple, easy, fun. I've got plenty of other trucks that I can use as comp trucks. This one I'm just going to turn into something that I have a lot of fun with. That will make finding the other option parts that I want to put on this thing a lot easier as well. In the future, if I find things that allow me to turn it into that truck that I had kind of imagined in my head, maybe I'll go that route. But during this build series, we're just going to turn this thing and steer it more towards something that I know I'll have fun with when I take it out on a trail ride. That still doesn't mean that I'm gonna add a bunch of weight to it. I'm gonna try and keep it as light as we can, forward biased as we have it, but it'll just kind of change what I add to make it more fun to drive on a night run or a scale fun video or just a good get together truck. The weeks of this build thread are actually really starting to click down. Next week we have another special week, followed shortly by another running video. So we're gonna get a good opportunity to see the differences between what it does now and what it did then. Hopefully at that time I've got somebody who can come along with me and we can take the bone stock TRX-4 Sport and the budget build, take those things both out together, see what they do. So since we're headed a little bit more towards that trail rig route, for this week's question, what is the one must-have item that you have on all of your trail trucks? Whether that be a working winch or light bars or sand ladders or any other scale accessory from a huge long list of possibilities, drop whatever yours is in the comments below. By the time this video drops, I'll already be at Axial Fest. We had a busy week this week and it's not going to slow down before the end of it. Next week, I'm gonna have to start putting together my parts list for the modifications that we wanna do so I can make sure they're here and ready, waiting on me to knock out week 12 of the TRX-4 Sport budget build. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit the like button if you did. Subscribe if you're not already. Hit the notification bell so you see the videos as soon as they get uploaded. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.